Hello and welcome back to my channel, you lovely person. Today's video is a little bit, I always say that, I feel like I'm always like a little bit different. Basically we're going to be talking about the Inheritance Games trilogy books series. But on top of that, so I had gone back and forth of whether or not I wanted to do video dedicated to just this book series. I read it I think in August was when I started reading them, and I really liked them, but I kind of went back and forth about it, whatever, and then I kind of came up with this fun idea of talking I was just gonna name the video something about nepotism babies, the book trilogy about nepotism babies, the Inheritance Games or whatever. And then I just kind of got caught up and didn't really ever make the video. And then recently, I don't know if y'all have seen, but Lily Rose Depp has kind of done an interview talking about nepotism babies and how she feels being called a nepotism baby. And yeah, so I felt like it was very topical, so I decided to do it. And I want to start off this video, this is being so serious, it's not really that serious, but I just wanted to start off the video of if you didn't know, basically Lily Rose Depp in this article was talking about how, because she's the daughter of Johnny Depp, the actor, and I think of a model, but I'm not really sure her name, but how she was saying that she doesn't like being called a nepotism baby because it just puts her accomplishments on who her father is, and how she's worked hard for everything she's done, and all of these things. And while I don't want to deny any of that, I agree she's her own person. I haven't really seen her act in that much, but she's been good in what I've seen. I just think I was kind of angry, and so were other people were angry when reading that, just because I don't deny any of those things, that she's worked hard or any of that, but I think it's just the denial of the privilege that she carries is really hurtful to people and just mind-boggling to me. And it's not just Lily Rose Depp, there's a bunch of examples of this. And other people have said it beautifully, but it's not just even the implications of saying that, not recognizing the privilege that you have of even just being a nepotism baby and being in the industry. You do get doors opened up for you. You do get you get prioritized. You do get more chances. You know people quicker. You still have to be good at your craft, but you get a leg up that everyone else doesn't get. And I think as an actor myself, it's kind of really frustrating to be sitting here and be doing all of this hard work myself, and knowing that it'll take me years if I ever make it or do anything big time, and these other people kind of get chances right out the gate, kind of chances of at least getting in front of someone who could then choose to put them in it or not. They can get signed to an agent and things faster. And I think it's also just so damaging to not talk about how a lot of nepotism babies are also white. So this is a very white issue, and I think it's in a lot of ways too denying your white privilege, which is just so insane and hurtful and harmful. And I'm just trying to pick my words carefully because it's really important to me, and that us as white people already have such a leg up just because the world is the way it is, especially America, especially the entertainment industry. And being a nepotism baby, you have even bigger of a leg up of having those connections and having all of these privileges, as I've already said, and to not recognize that you don't have those privileges is just so harmful, like I said. So this video is just kind of more in just talking about the Inheritance Games. It's supposed to be fun. It's not really supposed to be sorry, my dogs are going crazy. It's not supposed to be super deep, but I just think that was really important to me to get that message out, that it's infuriating when nepotism babies or just anyone doesn't recognize their privilege. And it's so important to especially recognize your white privilege as a white person. But anyways, I'm done lecturing now, and now we can talk about the book series. Yay! So the Inheritance Games is consisted of 3 books. I don't really know if I should say it's consisted of more, because there's another book that's supposed to be in the universe, but I don't know if it's technically in the same series. I don't really know. I guess like on Goodreads it has it listed under the same series. So I guess maybe 4 books, but I'm just going to call it a trilogy because that's what it is now, and that's like Avery's story is like a trilogy, but whatever. The 4th upcoming book is The Brothers Hawthorne, which is not out yet, but the 3 books that are out and are like the trilogy basically are The Inheritance Games, The Hawthorne Legacy, and The Final Gambit. And all 3 of those books follow Avery Graham's, and basically she's, in the beginning of the series, she's like kind of a poor girl who, her mom has recently died, and she is living with her sister, and they're kind of like scraping by, and yeah, she just lives kind of like a normal life, and then all of a sudden she kind of gets called in and is told that she's going to be at this like hearing for Tobias Hawthorne's will, who's like this ultra billionaire in Texas, and she's like, okay, that's really weird. And when she gets there, it's revealed that she gets virtually all of the money that he had. So super fun little setup, even though she's never met him. Crazy. So then kind of it's like the series kind of follows like, it has all of these like puzzles and like riddles and like all of these things to kind of figure out like each of the mysteries in each of the ones. So the mystery kind of in the first one is like, why Avery? Like, why did Avery get this money when she doesn't ever remember meeting Tobias Hawthorne? She doesn't know any of the other Hawthorns. She's very confused they're all very confused of why she gets the money over all of the other members of the family. So the important players in the family that you should kind of know are the 4 boys. So we have Nash, we have Grayson, yeah. Then we have Jameson, and then we have Xavier. Oh my God. That's so embarrassing. His name is Xander. Anyways, we're zooming past that. Anyway, so those are the 4 boys. They're each Tobias Hawthorne's grandsons. Okay, also, I'm going to try to not do like too many spoilers in this, but there are going to have to be some just for the way the series as a whole moves forward, because like things that happen in the Hawthorne Legacy are kind of like surprises or like plot twists that happen in the Inheritance Games, so sorry for that. So from now on, these will have some spoilers in them. Here is your warning. So yeah, like I said, like the Inheritance Games kind of just figuring out why Avery, and the best kind of response at that moment is kind of, she is kind of was randomly picked. Not like randomly picked, like Tobias had met her once before when she was like really young. I think she was like 6 or 7 or something like that. And he just heard her say her name, her full name, which is Avery Kylie Graham, which you can fix the letters to do a very risky gamble. And he thought that was funny. And then yeah, I mean, like in this part of the book, I feel like that's kind of the only reasoning we sort of get. But at the very end of the Inheritance Games, Tobias Hawthorne also has, I mean, he's dead still, but like he has all these like little like riddles and clues and stuff that like he pre-planned. And the one for Xander is basically like, find Tobias Hawthorne, which is his son, that went missing or like presumed dead when he was like 17 years old. So the second book we kind of moved on to now, the Hawthorne Legacy, basically follows that like clue they got at the end that was like, find Toby, which is Tobias Hawthorne's son, that went missing. So basically when he was like 17 or something like that, there was a fire on this like island at one of the houses that Tobias owned, and 3 teenagers were with him, and they were all found dead, and Tobias's body was never found, but they just kind of assumed that he had also died. And Tobias includes a picture of Toby, and Avery figures out that this was the homeless man that she used to play chess with before she inherited any of the money. So, and he called himself Harry then. So she like had this connection to the Hawthorne family, which is kind of like the first connection she's had to them. And so basically the whole book, they're kind of like looking for him. Basically, when that fire happened, it was an accident. He didn't mean for it to kill anyone. Obviously, he like wanted to set it on fire or something like that and like trash it because he was like really angry with his father because he had just found out that he was adopted. I think he like went into like the water and was like unconscious or something, and Hannah, this girl, pulled him out and started taking care of him, whatever. And Hannah's sister was one of the ones who died on the island fire thing, and but she still takes care of him, still like treats him well, whatever. They end up kind of falling in love, and but after a couple of months or however long it takes for him to heal, he kind of has to move on. And Hannah thinks that it's going to be with her, but he actually like goes on without her and leaves her because he's like, I can't give you the life that you deserve, basically. And then plot twist, Hannah is Avery's mother. So it's kind of then she's like, wait, but am I related then to Toby Hawthorne? Like, is that how I'm connected to all this Hawthorne business? And no, she is not by blood. Her father is the person she thought she was her father, who's like not really in the books, but it is her father confirmed, and her mother is her mother confirmed. Her mother got pregnant, and yeah, whatever, she had not seen Toby in years, and then Toby came back one night. I don't really remember why, like kind of randomly or something, and that's the night that Hannah gave birth. So he's the one that she wanted to name her daughter Avery for something, like I forget what her sister's name, but it has something to do to honor her sister. And then her last name was Grams, and then he made it, she said he could pick the middle name, so he picked Kylie, so it would be a very risky gamble. And Tobias Hawthorne, the like senior, he kind of knew some of this was going on, in like some respects he knew that Toby was still alive, and he knew that he had connections to Hannah. Later, when he was like retracing Toby's steps, he realized that he had helped in the naming of Avery and like all of these things. And basically, Toby at the end is kind of like, I don't want to be in the limelight. I can't, and I don't want to, and I can't help you anymore. He's saying this to Avery because like she's already in the limelight. She's already like in all of this. But he has an actual birth daughter that he is like, I'm trying to save her. So like she can't, like I don't want her to get anything, basically. Like any of the fame and the hate. But at the same time, he still calls Avery like his daughter as well. He's like, you're still my daughter. I loved Hannah, and like I love you, and like all of this nice, very sweet stuff. And I guess I've also been glossing over in like in all of the books, there's kind of like assassination attempts on her, because there's like the ruling that like if she does not turn, like, because she's only 17 right now, and if she dies before she is 18, all of her money goes to, or all of the money she inherited goes to the nearest, like the closest family member. So then like there's incentive for like family members to try to pull this off, including like her father, who like she's kind of estranged from, and like different people like that. Which I do find that interesting because I do think Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who wrote this series, did like give some essence of like, it's not, fame is not all it's like cracked up to be at some point. Like she has assassination attempts all the time. She has to put on this like fake facade all the time as well of like, and she needs to make this like image so they'll like accept her more. Also a love factor that I've also not been talking about, of there's like kind of a love triangle between Avery and Grayson and Jameson. I was very confused of what team to be on, because basically her and Grayson are like I don't know. And I mean, the first book, The Inheritance Games, I think I'm kind of leaning towards Team Grayson just because it seems like Jameson is like not being serious at all in any of his advances of Avery, and I think she knows that too. And then the second book, it's kind of turns towards like Grayson kind of steps back and is like, I don't want to do this with my brother again, so like if you want him, you have him, which I think is nice. But I think in a lot of books when that happens, they're like not really being sincere, and they like try, but then they're like, hey, this is too hard, I want you, like, you know what I mean? but I think this is a case where he like actually is telling the truth of like, I kind of felt after Grayson said that he was kind of stepping back, not that there weren't feelings there, but he didn't do that much. I mean, like, I kind of felt like their relationship kind of, not like ended romantically, but kind of slowly ended, which I thought was really beautiful, and I think it made, paved a way for her and Jameson to make more sense and for me to be more excited about them as a couple in the end when they end up together. Maybe that's just me, but I thought it was good. Okay, the third book, The Final Gambit, honestly is the one I'm like most fuzzy on. But basically the general plot that I can remember is, so Avery knows about Toby. They know where Toby kind of is. I mean, not really. He like goes away at the end, but they like found him for a little bit, so they know he's alive, I guess I should say. Um, she knows kind of why she's gotten the money now, because like she's connected to not only like Toby, but like, you know, like she's connected to Toby in all of those ways, whatever. Um, yeah, and then the third book is kind of Eve, who is Toby's biological daughter, because she was like on the run with Toby and then he got like kidnapped basically, and she's like, I need help. So she goes to the Hawthorns and is like, I need help with this. So she gets taken in by the Hawthorns and Avery, and they like start, like she lives with them and all this stuff. And this is also like good to mention that like Avery is like fastly approaching her 18th birthday. Like she is almost up with a year. She is about to get all of this money like very, very soon. So she's trying to like figure out all of these ending things. It's also important to note that her and Jameson are officially a couple in like this book. And yeah, so Eve comes, people don't know if they should be like skeptical of her or if they shouldn't, and they're trying to find Toby again and like figure out who kidnapped him basically. Um, yes, and it kind of ends up pointing to this person who was one of Tobias's like kind of enemies, mentors at one point, and a guy who's also like a billionaire, um, who has taken he's taken Toby, and basically there's like this final showdown of like Avery has to go and whatever, and it turns out Eve is evil, by the way, so she has to like go and like beat them and like outsmart him basically. And like the whole thing was that he like would always underestimate a woman, and especially like a young woman. Like I think she like earned his respect and like outsmarted him, and he, and like I think she said like leave me alone basically, and I think he said yes. I think that's what happened. Yeah, so basically that is the Inheritance Games trilogy as of now. And I know again at the beginning of the video I was very heavy with my nepotism baby talk, but I do think it's something that happens in this book just because the four grandsons are nepotism babies, and then obviously Avery is not, and she's the one that like gets this opportunity and all of this stuff. And oh, at the end of the book, at the very end of the book, of the last book, also Tobias has this like last final message that he basically says he's sorry to Avery, because he's like, I chose to give you all of my inheritance because being that rich is awful, basically. He's like, it comes with so much baggage and so much this and that and like whatever. And he basically was like, I didn't want to put any of my family members who I love through that, so I didn't give them the full inheritance. And like that's kind of explaining like why it all happened. And then Avery kind of like sets up this organization and like basically gives away like virtually all of the money within like 5 years or something to like help people, like to charity and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think it's a young adult romance. I think it definitely feels like a young adult romance, and it's very fun, but again too, like a lot of the like riddles and tests and stuff, as a 2-year-old woman, some of them were like too easy for me, and was just like, I was just sitting there like, yeah, it's this, you need to go here, and then they like wouldn't go there right away, and I'd be like, guys, come on. But I still think it's a really great read, and I still do think they're very good books. And I probably will read the Hawthorne Brothers when it comes out, which follows, I'm pretty sure it follows Grayson and Jameson, or maybe just all of the brothers. I'm not really sure, but that's not coming out for like a year or two or more. I don't even know. But yes, so thank you for joining me on this cute little deep dive into the inheritance games. And yes, thank you. You are beautiful, wonderful, amazing, special, smart, kind, funny, brilliant. And I hope you have an amazing day, week, month, year, and I will see you next time. Bye.